Hello, my friends. It's your buddy Phil here, project management trainer and coach. Today, we're going to take a look at three of the resounding names in project management software space. We're going to take a look at Monday.com. We're going to take a look at Asana.com. We're going to take a look at Clickup.com. So let's jump straight in to where everyone goes first, right? The pricing. So let's click on Get Started. Let's see what this offers. Continue with Google. So I'm going to do all of that modality stuff and get this rocking and rolling. All right. So here we go. I have used that and click continue. Hey there, what brings you here today? Work, personal, school? Let's say personal. Let's continue. Select what you like to manage. PMO. More like project management stuff. So I've gone ahead and chosen project management. Remember, this is my first time in this program. Never been here before. What do you need help with? Managing projects, reports, maybe resource management, managing tasks, the regular stuff. How did you hear about us? YouTube. My goodness, I've heard about this so many times on YouTube. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right, let's move on. Let's see what else. All right, seems like it's thinking. And invite your teammates. Remind me later. All right, so let's start working together. Give your board a name. Marketing plan, sales pipeline, quarterly roadmap. I'll just say demo. Hit next. Select one of the items you like to manage. Let's say I want to manage projects. And what do I want it as? Table, Kanban, Gantt, timeline, cards, calendar. Well, let's see. Let's go for Gantt. That's what a Gantt looks like. Timeline, very similar, but it doesn't have the relationships between the items. So let's go for Gantt. Let's see what table does. Okay. I wonder if I can have both a table and a Gantt. I'd like to see both, just like MS Project. Let's see. List your projects. So this is more like a program, if you will. So the fact that it's showing project 1, 2, and 3, this is more of a program. So let's go back. Yeah, this is more of a program. So let's go back and let's say tasks. We say tasks. Okay. Very similar in approach, just different in the hierarchy, overall hierarchy. Let's click on next. Okay, those are the tasks. It's quite intuitive. Okay, remember, I've never been here before. I can immediately see there's a Gantt version available, which is helpful. It's kind of cool. It's got a friendly looking interface. I'm looking for a button where I can make things bigger or smaller. I guess I could do that with a Control- functionality on my keyboard. It's got some other cool things that you can integrate up there. I recognize Gmail and some other things. And let's see if I can add a task to this. New task. And it's grouped under this week. Okay, and I'll just call it task 4 in line with everything else. Create. I didn't see where task 4 went. Let's do that again. New task this week. Task 4. And the dependency. Oh, it is in there. So my task 4 is in there. I'm guessing it just needs a refresh. So is there a refresh button somewhere? I'm just going to refresh, hit the reset button, refresh button there. And I'm expecting my task 4 should appear. It didn't. Let's see. Let's go further down. Still no task 4. So not as intuitive on that front. I'm going to try again. New task. Task 4, and I'm going to make it a dependency. Say it's dependent on this, and create a task. Still don't see it. not as intuitive as I would have liked in that respect. Okay, let's see what add a widget does. We've already got a Gantt in there. Chart of some sort. I have to be quite honest, right off the bat, I am not a massive fan of the lack of intuition. To be able to add a task should be quite intuitive. Even though it looks nice, I feel it's a little bit fiddly. Just my perception as a user. I like the interface, but I don't like the fact that it's not as intuitive. I still am not able to add a task. Still not. Now it's got 2 task 4s, but I can't see them. See, I'm not able to see them. So I don't know what's going on with that. Someone who knows how to use it could probably comment better. Let's see what else we've got here. What else can we add? A new board, a new doc. Let's see what else we can add. Some more projects or a campaign. And of course, like everything, it will require some training. I am aware of that. But I thought the project management functionality should have been at least quite straightforward. All right. Well, that's my verdict. Pretty fancy little interface there. I would have expected better about the intuition of adding a task. All right. So let's go on to Asana and see what Asana has got. Pricing. Basic starts at $0, premium $10.99, and that is for more functionality, more firepower, and you got for business, I guess, more functionality and firepower. Now let's juxtapose that, because in all fairness, I didn't show you the full pricing structure for Monday.com. So let me open up a blank slate for Monday.com. And let's take a look at the price in here. Pricing. We've got the individual starts at $0, basic $8, standard $10. You can't beat the price. That's for sure. Can't beat the price. I'm going to be straight up honest. I actually prefer a more robust feel that I get from Smartsheet right off the bat. It seems a little bit more stable and less fiddly. I haven't shown you Smartsheet here. I've done that in previous videos. Maybe before we round up today, I'll show you that. But for Asana, let's jump in. Let's see what we can do. Get started. $0 for individuals or teams just getting started. All right, let's get started. It wants me to sign up and put in name at company.com. Well, name at company.com. Let's see if I can put in. Let's see if I can do that. Okay. So I've gone ahead and put in that information. And let's continue with basic. Okay. And seems like it's giving me the opportunity of continuing. Well, let's go ahead with Google. Let's do it. 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 So I'm going in with my Google account. And it wants me to fill in all of this information. What is your full name? Yada, yada. Let's put all that in. Okay, put in all that information. What is your primary role? What kind of work do you do? Project management. I shouldn't have skipped that, but that's fine. Let's continue. What's something you and your team are currently working on? Okay, so it's giving me a more Kanban-ish view. How would you like to group these to do, doing, and done? That's okay. So it's right off the bat telling me to use a Kanban kind of silo. So I could look at it in a timeline fashion, calendar, a board. Looks pretty cool with those icons, or a list. Let's go with the board. Or let's make it an even playing field. Let's go with the timeline, because that's the same format I used for Monday.com. So let's start. Congratulations, you created your first project. Who's working on this with you? Now, this doesn't give me an out. I don't like that. But anyway, skip for now. Here we are in Asana. There are tasks. All right. Okay, so those are the tasks. And let's see how intuitive this is. We got a board version, calendar version, files that we could use for this. I do not see what I was looking for, like a kind of Gantt, but that's fine. It doesn't look like I've got that set up properly. But yeah, a little bit stumped there. I guess there's some measure of training that's needed. I like the interface, I like the look, I like the feel. I'm not happy that I can't get to what I'm looking for, which is a visual, a Gantt of some sort. I like the summary. It gives you a summary of all the projects. To be quite honest, again, my intuition tells me Smartsheet is probably going to be my favorite as far as the stable nature of it and the more intuitive nature as far as using a scheduling tool for a project manager is concerned. This, to me, it doesn't hold up because I'm looking for start to start, finish to finish, finish to start, and those kind of things, and that's okay, but this unfortunately wouldn't do it for me. I wouldn't ditch Microsoft Project for this. I would not ditch Microsoft Project for Monday.com either. That's just a straight up truth. I would not. I like the interface, I like the look, I like the feel, but to me it's not as intuitive for someone like me who's been down this scheduling road for a while. All right, let's jump into ClickUp, our final one for the day. So ClickUp, we have free forever. And I've contacted people at ClickUp. They're great. They get back to you. They're on point. I don't use it per se, but a client of mine does. And that's why I got into speaking to people at ClickUp once upon a time. But this is my first encounter as a user. So let's go with free forever. Let's type in all of that personal information. So again, same kind of configuration workspace wise. You can kind of tell where this is going. They're very similar in that regard. So it wants me to create a workspace. Create a space. No, I want to use intuition to do these. Okay. No, we're going to use intuition. Add a task. No. Let's see if we can get rocking and rolling. All right, so click here to open this task. Learn about powerful task descriptions. Not as intuitive on the first encounter, I will say. I know, there is some amount of studying and stuff that needs to be done. Well, there's a Gantt. Thank goodness. At least I found a Gantt. Thank goodness. Okay. As far as starting something new, I would have expected, let's see, dashboards, docs, spaces. So, shows tasks from all lists in this space. Okay. Let me see what happens if I do a new space. Project trial. Let's keep going. So, custom content Kanban, normal, Scrum. What is normal? Huh. Okay. Active statuses. Okay, so it wants to use this to do, doing, and done, perhaps, kind of status for whatever I'm doing. Not as intuitive right off the bat. Let's say I want a timeline or Gantt table, perhaps a calendar, and let's create the space and see what happens. Okay, so if I say initiating as a task, so I've got 5 tasks here. Assign them to myself. The due date. Okay, it doesn't do all that start finish stuff that project does, but you know, it's just manageable. It's okay, it's manageable. Let's see what else. If I wanted to see a Gantt for what I've done so far, not bad. At least I can see the Gantt. I just don't know how to link the tasks. Let's see, can I link them somehow so I can make them longer? I think these little bubble things will probably let me click and drag. That's my intuition. I was right. Okay, it's giving me a finish to start relationship. At least, I'm sure there are other ways around this, but I could, at least out of all 3 of them, this is the only one I was able to get some semblance of a relationship between the different tasks. Okay, let's see the board view. Quite intuitive. Move them along as you begin getting them done. When you get them done, move them to done. Quite straightforward. Not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Okay, well, that was a live view of me getting into these tools for the first time. I've not used any of these tools. Some of my clients use some of these. Asana, one of my clients used to use Asana, another one now uses Clickup. But it's my first encounter actually using them. As far as Smartsheet, which I talked about quite a lot in the very beginning, now I'm going to log into Smartsheet and I'm going to show you what I like about Smartsheet. And when I said it's robust and I had things to say about it. Okay, well, let's jump into Smartsheet. There it is. And here's some of the things I have there. But it's quite intuitive. It's quite intuitive. If I wanted to set up anything, I click on Create New, and I could use the sheet, form, report, dashboard functionality. Let's come over here and see. Let's do the plus and look for Gantt. So once you've found what you're looking for, quite straightforward to set up a project with a Gantt. Whatever you're looking for, cards, task lists, very similar. Now, I like the fact that the screen is not as muddled. It's very baseline-ish. There's not a lot of bells and whistles compared to the others, but it's very straightforward. I can type my tasks, and off I go. Very intuitive, right? Very straightforward. The predecessors, the successor relationships, those are also visible there. The start of the entire project, let's say I choose this. Those are my tasks, and I could modify the duration without much ado. I can assign them to people without much ado, just like that, you know. So this is what I like about Smartsheet. Again, if I wanted to do something else, wanted to maybe use a Kanban kind of view, all I need to do is click on cards. It opens up template, and all I need to do is begin populating the backlog. Simple as that. Very straightforward, very accessible. And just click drag as you begin to get stuff done. It's that simple. So my friend, that's my quick view of all these software tools. You know, nothing against anyone or any of these tools, but for me, I would say Smartsheet would be my first choice, followed by Clickup, followed by Asana, probably, and Monday.com. It's kind of like a tie because they were not as intuitive as I would have liked. The most intuitive for the project manager who is used to scheduling using like the P6s of this world and MS Project. Yeah, you want this. For those who are not used to those, then what you don't know doesn't hurt you. These might just be piece of cake for you. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like button, share with your friends, and if you got any questions, put them in the comments below. Talk to you soon, and bye for now.